Who's going to start? You? Okay. Please have a seat, please. Well, good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon.
That's much better. Thank you. Thank you so much. My name is Nabil Grace. I'm the Vice President for Research and the Dean of the College of Engineering. And I would like to take this opportunity on behalf of the entire College of Engineering and on behalf of biomedical engineering, students, staff, I'd like to welcome all of you for the opening ceremony for the master degree, Master of Science in Cardiovascular Perfusion. First, I'd like to welcome our partner, CCS, and this has been a pleasure journey working with you. And I'd like to welcome Kevin and Kristen. Where is she? She's here. Been looking for her all the time. They have been of great help to us, putting the program together and also helping us to move forward with the actual program. So we are grateful to them, and we are looking forward for more of this. This is the first perfusion program in Michigan and one of the 18s in the United States. Actually, we started looking into this a couple of years ago. Dr. Yawen Lee, where is she? Yeah?
I'm here, back here.
She's in the back as usual. Yawen Lee and her faculty members spearhead this program a couple of years ago. And she kept talking to me about it, and at the beginning I felt maybe yes, maybe no. But she was very persistent. And then she brought Kevin, and Kevin met with us, and we actually have a common friend that we kept talking about him. So certainly, he did a great job, and we are so thankful to you. Thank you so much for your help. We really appreciate it. We announced the program in October 2021. And at that time, we said, maximum, we'll get about 10 students, 10 people to apply for the program. And by March 2022, we had about 100 applicants. And that was a surprise. But frankly, talking to our president, Dr. Tarek Soud, I love what he always said to me. He always say, we need programs that we don't need to advertise. People will be just walking in. We need programs for the state of Michigan, program for the people of Michigan, and something really coming from Lone Stack. So with this, I'm very grateful to our president, Dr. Tarek Soud, for his guidance and for his help on that. Special thanks goes to Liebing. She's sitting right there. She's our Associate Dean for Graduate Studies and for Research. She has been great. Thank you. She always looks at all the program details, and she brings it to the table and discuss, this should be done this way, and between her and Liebing and Yawen Lee, certainly I'm in good hand. So I'm grateful to both of you. Also, I'd like to thank Linda, Miss Linda Hyde. She's sitting back there. Linda Hyde is our Vice President. She's our Vice President for Finance, and she's the one who reviews all the documents that we get from you. And she's the one that authorized all the work after talking to the President. And we are so grateful that you are here, Linda. And we thank you so much for all the work and the time you spent in reviewing the document and approving everything through your office and the President's office. Thank you for that. We also have a special guest here today, Dr. Verinder Madgal. He's right here. He's previous president. He's the previous president of Lawrence Tech, and certainly we are so delighted to have you here, Dr. McGill, and thank you for being here today. We really appreciate that. With this in mind, I'd like now to invite our president, Dr. Tariq Subh, and certainly he is our new president, and personally I enjoy working with him. He is a friend, not only to me, but he's a friend to all faculty members here. He's looking for Lawrence Tech and what can be developed to help the state of Michigan. And I'm sure you will hear very soon about new programs in medical science that he's spearheading, and he always talks about something new that will happen at Lawrence Tech under his leadership. With no further ado, please join me in welcoming our president, Dr. Tariq Subh.
Good afternoon. First of all, I'd like to thank you for the invitation to speak at this special ceremony. This is a ceremony of firsts. First program in the state of Michigan at the graduate level in cardiovascular perfusion. First entering class into the first program in the state. I cannot seriously begin to tell you how proud I am of all of you, our new candidates for the program, and how proud I am of the faculty members who made all of this possible. Thank you. I would like to talk a little about Lawrence Tech and what I hope will convince our students and assure them that the decision that they have made to attend Lawrence Tech was absolutely the right decision. Lawrence Tech is a very, very special and unique university. Lawrence Tech is one of 13 technological, comprehensive private universities in the US. That's out of 6,000 universities in the country. Lawrence Tech has enjoyed for the last 2 years the highest income upon graduation average of all of the 40 private and public universities in the state of Michigan. People like myself and Dean Grace and Dr. Virender Mudgal before me usually get asked the question, what is your success rate in finding students employment upon graduation, the graduate and the undergraduate level? And the typical metric of success in higher education is students getting a job, living wage job, within 6 months of graduation. I mean, that's the typical US metric for the success of a university. For universities for which that metric is 80 to 90%, that is considered exceptional in the US. That's a very, very high percentage. Here is what I can tell you about your new, soon to become your alma mater. Our problem in Lawrence Tech is not getting our students job. Our problem is to keep them till they graduate, because they get the jobs at least 6 months, if not a year before that. That's something we are very also proud of. Lawrence Tech has been founded on the principle of theory and practice. What we do at this university is the following. We graduate professionals in all the disciplines that are, number one, very technologically savvy, eminently trained, and also received experiential education via working with companies and or hospitals and or clinics and or industries extensively before they leave us here on their educational journey. And that's what assures that they get the best jobs and future careers. I always talk about future careers and the careers of the 21st century because that's what you're going to embark on. Cardiovascular perfusionists and the profession as a whole did not exist 50 years ago or 80 years ago or 30 years ago. And again, 10 years ago, there was no job called autonomous car engineer or social media marketer or nanotechnologist. Lawrence Tech does that. Lawrence Tech prepares our students in various disciplines, in various majors, in various colleges for the jobs of the future, the jobs that don't even have a title yet. You are on the cutting edge of both technology and healthcare and clinical care. We aspire for you to be our new leaders, and we aspire for you to be role models for generations to come in this program and other clinical-based programs in the health sciences that we are going to start across LTU, and we look forward to your leadership. Thank you for being with us. We look forward to amazing outcomes, both during your studies and after you graduate. And we look forward to our faculty working with you and doing amazing things. Lawrence Tech is always about first. It's a very, very special and unique place. And I'm very confident that you will be happy and comfortable and will enjoy your experience here, both from an education, research, and service point of view. Thank you all, and best of luck on this new journey.
Well, if I could go row to row and give everyone a big hug, I would. I can't thank you enough to take time on a beautiful summer day to come and support our students. We are in the business of heart surgery and repairing hearts, and looking at you all, I can honestly tell you, you all have touched all of our hearts. I really, really appreciate it. So to begin, I'd like to our students, welcome the Lawrence Technological University in the start of your journey to become a cardiovascular perfusionist. As you look around, you can already see it really is a great time to be here at LTU. We have state-of-the-art facilities, a supportive and welcoming administration, as you guys can see, and very talented faculty with an excellent record of training successful new perfusionists. Although this is a new program, the professors and the clinical instructors have decades of teaching behind them. Every professor has been associated with so many university-based programs. We have the faculty sitting over here, and I'm going to go through that in a little bit. But as far as our perspective here, when compared to medicine and nursing, our profession is very young. In June 1972, the first perfusion students completed their training at the Texas Heart Medical Center. From that initial program and handful of graduates, your new profession has grown to now will be the 18th program around the nation, with more than just 100 graduates per year and over 4,500 practicing perfusionists in 2002 within the United States. Despite that, the nation still needs every perfusionist that we can train. Our profession is forecast to growing on an average due to the increased demand for health services. As you can see, the pandemic put an enormous toll on our profession. We were thrown into the spotlight for people who were so ill, and at the end, that we were the ones that needed to step forward in trying to save all these people. So it was really an overwhelming task. So despite the nation still needs every perfusionist we can train, practicing perfusionists tend to be quite happy, as you'll be well informed to know, of their career choice. The surveys conducted by the American Board of Perfusion show that nearly 90% of practicing perfusionists say they would become a perfusionist if they had to make a career selection again. And 95% said that they would recommend their career to the friends or family members. The AMSAC community, which is the American Society of Extracorporeal Technology, survey mirrors those results, with 95% of respondents saying that they were very satisfied and delighted with their career as perfusionists. So as we all begin this graduate program, and you as a perfusion student over the next 21 months, the program will be a challenge to most of you. Not to scare you, but it will be. And may also be a bit challenging for your family and friends, as we will keep you busy. However, in May 2024, you will have earned a rewarding career and a new way of life for yourself and your families. The ceremony here today celebrates your transition to that new career. Again, we are pleased to welcome you to the LTU program and this incredible profession. So, to go off script a little bit, so nobody get worried, but to go off script, I want to ad-lib here. I want to talk to you about our journey up until this point, and our journey and how magical it has been. So our team that had started this is a very tight-knit family, very tight-knit. And we said, we've been teaching, we remain interested in publishing, doing research, coming up with innovative ideas. We're people who are passionate about their profession. And we feel we do it quite well. So we have always taught students. I've been teaching for almost 35 years now. But recently, you always say, things have changed. Could we do this better? And if we were going to do it better, how could we do it differently? So we took a step back and we said there was no rush. So let's start talking to universities. So we talked to a few. And then we came here. And the sense of community that was here was immediate. We had our meeting, we walked away, and all of us felt, did you feel what I felt? Yes, so we said, okay, Now let's start this process. So then we met with the administration, who was just so helpful and committed to us doing this. Cannot thank you enough. And then 2 angels fell from the sky. And Dr. Yowen Lee, and I get emotional talking about it, and Olivia Thompson-Tinsley. They're just extraordinary people. And we knew from that point, I get the hair on the back of my neck goes up. We knew from that point that now we had extended members of our family. Everything that you see here today and up to this point, those 2 women are just exceptional people. I can't thank you enough. I cannot thank you enough. So then we needed to, okay, so we agreed that we're going to do this. Now, the exhausting task of going back to a blank laptop, turning it up, staring at a blank screen, and coming up with a proposal. Okay, show us, you said something, show us what you got. So we then sat down and wrote a proposal and came back to them. I think it was just short, Kristen, of 200 pages, right? Yeah, I'm a little bit compulsive. But I wanted to cross all the T's and dot all the I's. I didn't want them to come back to me and say, you're missing something. So we did that. We went through it, and they were great. And they said, you're off to the races. The thing in that proposal that we needed to take a look at and analyze is who's been doing this the longest, who's been doing this quite well. And the newcomers, the new programs, what was different about that? And we then did a whole cross-analysis of all those programs, and we tackled that. And at the end of the day, at the end of that proposal, I think we all agreed that this would be something extraordinary, it would be something different. And we agreed and we moved on from that point. Then we said, okay, let's go out and get the students. And we were overwhelmed without advertising. How many people? I mean, I think Kristen and I, the busiest part of our day is handling the applicants of people who want to be a part of this program. Just so taken back. So Google's a wonderful tool, I guess, right? So from there, we then sat and did the grueling task of actually sitting in a room. We were in there for 12, 14 hours, right? I like to talk, but I was getting tired. I mean, I was getting delusional at the end, but we felt it was committed because everything in life that I've learned is about people now. I've learned later in life to pluck the weeds and hold on to the roses. And like I was talking about Dr. Lee and Olivia, that's a bouquet of roses. And I found out in life that I can see by this community, there's endless bouquets of roses here. We just haven't encountered you yet. So at the end of this, if I haven't talked to you, please come forward. I'd love to meet you. So after then, we sat with all the students and came to find that we were looking, I can take someone with limited ability, but they need that personality. And we were looking for that. We were looking for that light in people and that personality. And there were a lot of people, and we whittled it down to the 12 that we have today, so congratulations. Yeah. So once we had the 12, we knew that we had the faculty to back it up, and the faculty is here today. But there is a plethora of talented, elite perfusionists within this state who are chewing at the bit to become now part of this, right? And they say you build something, they will come. We just had to organize it because they were already here. There are people that are extraordinary in this profession that we have access to. So we are blessed by that. So that's how we're gonna pursue this. So let me move on. So I wanna talk a little bit about today's ceremony and why we're all here and the importance of this. So today's ceremony is an important milestone because it symbolizes the start of your journey. As a cardiovascular perfusion student, throughout time, there have been many symbols of medicine. The caduceus originated in ancient Egypt and Middle Eastern cultures, the stethoscope in 1816, which was a French invention, and the symbol of the Red Cross. Crescent and crystal are a few that come to mind. The doctor's white coat has also become a universal symbol of medicine and signifies a turning point in the history of medicine. During the late 1800s and the early 1900s, medicine underwent a radical and rapid change as a result of the scientific method and modernization movement. The practice of medicine emerged as a respected discipline of science in an honorable profession. The identity required a new look or branding. The white coat of the laboratory scientist was adopted to replace the dark and formal black attire of previous centuries. with the fantastic discoveries that help prevent, more accurately diagnose, and in some cases definitively cure disease, doctors became scientific healers and were well respected among all strata of society. The white coat set them apart and civilized their knowledge, expertise, and even the hope of healing. Today, many patients consider it a symbol of purity, professionalism, and trust. As the adoption of the white coat symbolizes a change in the trajectory of medicine, today's ceremony in the white coat you will wear during your time at LTU will symbolize the change in your life and its trajectory. You're now entering an honorable scientific profession, or perhaps a calling. And for all of us, it truly is a calling, in which you will be gifted with the privilege of caring for others. You are now committing to perpetual learning, and you are now committing to the lives and health of our patients, our colleagues, and our communities. The white coat is a symbol of your potential and a rite of passage. Remember, we all have so much to learn together, and we truly mean that. So as you strive to achieve your potential, use your time wisely to learn and grow cognitively, physically, emotionally, and spiritually. So just to finish, I want to talk about our history for our profession is an extraordinary one. John Gibbon performed the first successful heart operation on May 6, 1953. And that it was a culmination of 22 years of research that he got to that point. The interesting thing about that got lost in the history books is right down the road at Harper Hospital, a physician, Dr. Forrest Dudrill, was working with General Motors. Henry Wilson was the CEO of General Motors. They connected with each other. General Motors said, we pump fuel, we pump water, we pump gasoline. We can certainly pump blood. So they got together a group of 12 researchers, and in a short period of time, they developed a heart pump. And it looked very much like, if you see pictures of it, it looks like it's sitting in the lobby of Harper Hospital. The other is in Smithsonian. There were 4 that were built. And it looks like a V12 engine. So the first successful operation was actually done July 6, 1952, so almost a year prior to Dr. Gibbon. And Dr. Gibbon's invention is on par with antibiotics and anesthesia. That's how big of a deal it was. It went unnoticed, Gibbon's thing, because simultaneously in the Midwest, out in Minnesota, there was cowboys in this thing. And Dr. Lillihei was a surgeon who said, the heart-lung machine cannot be built. There's no way you can replicate what a human can do. So what I will do is use another human as the heart-lung machine, and we will cannulate that patient, and then we will help the other patient. It was the only invention of a surgical procedure that had a 200% mortality rate. But it tells you about the people of the Midwest is the fact that he put an ad in a newspaper, and the first one for the 14-year-old girl, a farmer came forward, that had no connection to the patient, and surrendered himself to the table. So after Gibbon Gibbon did 2 procedures, and then he did another 4, but he was a very passionate man from Philadelphia. He was a 5th-generation physician, and after his first year of medical school, he wanted to drop out. He wanted to be a poet, but his father pushed him to continue his studies. When Gibbon kind of surrendered, there was a physician at the Mayo Clinic named Dr. John Kirkland, grew up in Muncie, Indiana, was actually a neurosurgeon during World War II. When the heart thing was happening in Minnesota, he immediately was a brilliant man and jumped on it. The incredible thing is that our next step in starting this program is we needed to find a medical director. And thank God I have a close friend who is a fantastic master surgeon, but a far better human being, Dr. Philip Robinson. And the fascinating thing about Dr. Robinson is that he trained at Wayne State University, where the start of this all happened with Dr. Dudrill. And then he was formally trained by Dr. John Kirkland. John Kirkland, who took Gibbon's idea and actually made it work through his series of operations. So I'm going to stop there, and Phil will come up. All right.
I'm a little miffed. When he said 2 angels were fallen, I was straightening my tie. I thought I was one of them, but clearly I wasn't. So, typical surgeon fashion, I've left my notes in my coat, my white coat, but I can wing anything. That is a gift, I think, that Dr. Kirkland taught me. You can't impart much to you in 10 minutes on a talk that's of any substance, but I do want to talk to you a little bit through your journey. First, I want to welcome you to as the first inaugural class here. It's quite an accomplishment, and it's an accomplishment for a lot of dedicated people. Kevin mentioned the term passionate, and I had a partner that was a Rhodes Scholar who said, it's not smart people that change the world, it's passionate people that change the world. There's a lot of smart people, and it's taken a lot of passion from a lot of people to actually see this come to fruition. And I also want to congratulate you on your first step into the brutal world of heart surgery, because it is brutal. I thought I had some pull. I tried to get someone in, and I couldn't. Clearly, you guys were all smarter than the people that I tried to get in. So I applaud you for your academic expertise. I also couldn't find a parking space here either. So I'm not having much success at Lawrence Tech. I will tell you, most people don't even know what your profession is. I married a perfusionist. We met in college, and the only reason I'm a heart surgeon is to keep an eye on her. I wanted to be a family practice doctor. But, most people are fascinated by what we do. And once she explains what she does, then no one talks to me anymore. It's about what she does, because it's such an amazing machine that you're going to learn to run. I didn't start off to want to be a heart surgeon. I wanted to be a fighter pilot, but my eyes weren't good enough. I hate to say that for a heart surgeon, but I wear glasses. And they're very thick magnifying glasses. But anyway, I wasn't sure what kind of doctor that I wanted to be. And, you go through internal medicine, and then you start to rotate through surgery. But when I saw heart surgery, I thought, this is the coolest thing I've ever seen. This is the fighter pilot of medicine. You have every toy and every device. There's artificial hearts, there's pumps, there's this. It is just the coolest thing. I've never met anyone who isn't fascinated by it. If they are, then I don't know what they do. But anyway, that's how I ended up doing what I do. I was fascinated by it. The technology, this is the right place for a perfusion school, because still, as good as the pump is, it's not perfect. We still cause some harm to the patient because of the pump. And we deal with that in the ICUs and some long-term things. So there's still lots of problems to be solved in cardiovascular perfusion. It isn't an art that's perfected yet. Medicine is never perfected. So in this setting, there's all kinds of potential to refine and make a better pump than the one that we're using, and a better heart for people who need heart transplants or heart failure surgery with devices. But you're about to enter a world that is a brutal world of heart surgery. And as I thought about this, I'll tell you, there's three things that stick out. One is you're about to see very super type A people, very, very competitive people, and very passionate people, and perfectionists. And you're going to have to learn to deal with those people, because that's going to be the expectation of you. You will be the expert in the room on the tool that allows us to do what we do. We're like the race car driver. I can drive it. I can tell you what to do, but I can't do it. And so we depend on you so much. And when things go wrong, I'm looking at my shoulder and saying, what's going on back there? So it is a very difficult world to work in, and we're not the easiest guys to get along with, as a lot of perfusionists can tell you. The second thing is it is the most exacting science in medicine. If I call to find out how my patient is doing, okay is never good enough. Okay is never good enough in the operating room. If I ask something, I will never accept okay. You have to tell me a number. It's this, it's this, it's this flow, it's this resistance, it's this. It's so data driven. For each patient that we do, we have 400 pieces of data that get entered into a national database that track our outcomes. So it is very, very data driven. And I hope you like physics and math and anatomy and chemistry, because that's all a very big part of what we do. And the third thing that's unique about heart surgery, it's the most stressful operation there is to a patient. It's the only operation where you clearly talk about death on a very real basis, because that's a potential outcome on people that look entirely healthy when they walk into the operating room and they're laughing with their families and their kids, and it's their father and their mother. There's nothing that anyone can trust you with more important than their loved one. And because of the nature of what we do and the machine that you run, it puts them at very, very high risk for outcomes that make their life not either a great quality or they don't survive. So that's the weight of stepping into the cardiac surgery world. To harken back a little bit to John Kirkland, he was a great guy, a thinker, a great thinker. He was the smartest man in the room wherever you went, because he could cut right to the chase on something. And so he took Dr. Gibbons' machine and he perfected it. And he made it that it was something that was clinically useful. And now there's somewhere around 1 million heart operations a year done. And maybe someone else would have come along and refined it, but he did it at a very, very early stage. And there were only 2 places in the world where heart surgery was being done. One was at the Mayo Clinic where he was, and the other one was at the University of Minnesota with Dr. Lillihei. But he had such an impact on me because the one thing that he taught us to do was to think, be a thinker. Not just a learner of facts, but a thinker. He gave you an approach to medicine. I have 5 kids, and I have become more of a philosopher as I've gotten older. And a philosopher gives you an approach to life. And this has been mine, and it comes over time, and it comes from different sources. But Dr. Kirkland had these pithy little sayings that have hung with me for 40 years, and anyone who trained with him, because they were so profound and so impactful. I remember asking him once, I said, everyone who went to the University of Alabama went there to become a heart surgeon. It was probably one of the 5 best places in the world to train to be a heart surgeon because of the quality of people that were there. And I remember asking him one time, he said, Phil, what do you want to do? I said, well, obviously I want to be a heart surgeon, but do you think there are too many of them? And without missing a beat, he looked at me and he said, you know, there's always room at the top. It's the bottom that's crowded. And I'm thinking, man, I'm just one in. You know, you're already up here, but that's the way he thought. Or, you know, he said, we were talking about difficult things in the operating room and different maneuvers that are very difficult to learn on small children's hearts or sometimes even adult hearts. And he said, you know, one day, he said, you know, the more I practice, the luckier I get. I thought, wow, okay, there's another one of those sayings. I said, that means I better practice more. Clearly, you've seen something. Because I asked him once if I was struggling with something, and I said, could you show me what I was doing wrong? And without missing a beat, he looked at me and he goes, no, I could never be that awkward. And I thought, okay, all right, I get that. You know, so it's a brutal world that you're coming into. The last one I'll save that he said, because it is what I think is pertinent for you. You're about to start a very difficult journey, very challenging. A lot of science, a lot of hard work, a lot of hours that you give up to do what you're going to want to do. But the first little saying that I like to quote to my kids and to people who will listen is that you know the difference between a live man and a dead man is a dead man has no problems. Problems are a sign of life. That's what your mind is there for. It'll solve problem, and if you don't have one, you'll create one. That's worry, right? So if you expect to start a program or even a day with no problems, you're going to be sadly mistaken. Your day changes constantly with this interruption, this. And you either accept them as the challenge or you see them as just a nuisance. So once you realize that's what your life is about and you embrace that, it becomes so much easier. The second advice I got from a patient, I told him once to have a nice day. And he said, no, make it a nice day. He goes, it's your attitude. He goes, it's up to you. Things are going to happen some way or the other that may not be what you want it to be, but you got to take the best out of it and make it something that you're going to work around. And the last thing was from Dr. Kirkland. He said, chance favors the prepared mind. So every problem in the operating room, he says, I've thought about that before and how I would do when I saw that problem. So when it came, he was prepared. And I thought, if that's your plan, to be prepared, and you've got a great attitude, all the problems and all the hard work are worth it, because you're entering a field that is just so, the people that you come across are just so appreciative for what you do. You have people that try and kiss your hands or want to send you any kind of, I don't think there's another profession like it. It's the greatest one in the world for me. So you look forward to working with you. I'm just a pretty face on the program. It's Kevin and these guys that are going to do all the work. But congratulations on your new journey. Thanks.
Thank you, Dr. Robinson. I am so happy you're part of the program. The students are very lucky. They're going to get to learn a lot from you. I've been lucky enough to pump some of his cases in the past and work with his wife as my director for the past 9 years. So it's been great. And you guys will probably, some of you will get to work with him in your studies as well. So that's great. I am going to have Dr. McCusker and Patty Finelli come up, and we will start handing out the white coats for everybody. If the first row could just stand up. So the first person coming up is Joseph Herzhauser. Lauren Hutchinson. Taylor Mellon. Thomas Nantis. Samantha Peacock. Charles Pham. Now I'll have the next row come up. Renee Russell. Brandy Schreffler. Christopher Steffen. Laura Van Ryendam. Brandon Woodruff. And John Zavaro. And now part of the white coat ceremony is a pledge that I'm going to have all the perfusion students say with me. It's a part of entering the perfusion profession and any medical profession. So I'm going to have everybody rise, all the students rise, sorry. So you guys can say it along with me. Today, we, the class of 2024, embark upon our medical journey as future perfusionists. To our patients, our communities, our colleagues, our profession, and ourselves, we make these promises. To our patients, we will advocate for all persons by serving the individual. We will practice with compassion and preserve our empathy. As perfusion professionals, we shall respect the patient's rights and dignity and shall uphold the doctrine of confidentiality regarding privileged patient information. To our community, we promise to be mindful leaders, to collaborate and to serve. We will share our knowledge, enthusiasm, and spirit through open channels with those around us. We will strive for social justice to foster a healthy society. To our colleagues in our profession, we promise to maintain a lifelong curiosity, to dedicate ourselves to innovation and discovery. We will rely on the strengths of our peers to transcend the boundaries of our own abilities. We will build relationships founded upon respect to share mutual responsibility in maintaining the ethics of care. As perfusion professionals, we must uphold the dignity and honor of the profession, accept its disciplines, and expose without hesitation illegal, unethical, and incompetent conduct. To ourselves, we promise to hold ourselves to the highest standard, to always strive for greater proficiency. We will balance the many facets of our profession by caring for our patients, our families, and ourselves. We will maintain awe for the gravity of our responsibility to conduct ourselves with dignity and courage. We will adhere to these promises with humility, self-governance, and genuine desire. We will be grateful to those we serve and those who have served us. We pledge ourselves and all who can hear that these promises will guide us on our medical journey as perfusionists. Thank you, everybody, and congratulations. I'm going to have Dr. McCusker is going to come up for closing remarks.
So I promise I'll stay on script. It's a beautiful day, and I can't thank you again, all of you, for coming. So to our students, again, congratulations. Now, every time you put on your white coat, remember how you feel right now. You worked so hard to get to this point in your life. Each experience that you had on your way here was tremendously important. It made you who you are today. Remember all those experiences and value them. Be proud of what you have accomplished and what you will accomplish. This should inspire you always to do your best. whether it is while you are in your classes, on your clinical rotations in 10 months, or in the practice as a perfusionist. Your patients will be the one whose benefits, but so will you. You are embarked on a journey that will change your life. Please do not let this excitement fade. Hold on to it. We know life will get stressful over the next 21 months and beyond, but try to remember how excited you are at this moment and excited to learn and practice perfusion. Because as a clinician, learning will never end. I've been doing this 35 years. Every day is a learning venture. Always be curious. Curiosity is what stimulates learning. Pursue knowledge to satisfy that curiosity. Please, the one thing we say in class all the time is drink from the fountain of knowledge and drink as often as possible. Remain curious about your patients and their inflictions. It will help you to be a better clinician, and your patient will certainly benefit. So congratulations on being here. We are so happy to welcome you to the LTU family. And thank you all for coming. Appreciate it.
Well, we'd like to thank all of you for being here today. And at this time, I'd like to invite all of you for a picture. So if you can go on the stage, please, and follow me. And then we'll follow this with the physicians and the president. So let's go ahead, please.
You want to do 6 and you want to do 6? Tell them.
They'll come our way at some point. We're good? So we can join.
You can join the president and